To do any work on these petrol mowers, just to remove the spark plug lead so that it's safe, because although you've got a dead man's handle on these things, it still has the potential to start up if the handle got squeezed and you turn the blade as possible. But anyway, so then we just turn the mower over carefully onto its side with the that's the exhaust pipe on that side, and this side is the air filter. So you want the air filter facing up, this part of the air filter facing up to the sky. So there we are, there's the air filter facing up to the sky, and then that'll ensure that the oil doesn't run into the air filter and carburetor, which will make it very difficult to start the engine when you put it back on the ground. So this is now a real mess under here because the grass has been very wet recently, and I've been trying to use the mulching attachment on this mower to cut the grass so it's too long. So the moral behind that is just mow a lawn when it's long a few times, just gradually reduce the length of the grass by reducing the height of the cutting blade. So just maybe mow over the lawn maybe 3 or 4 times just to gradually get it down to an acceptable level. Don't cut it too short at this early stage of the year. We're now towards the end of March in the UK. But now just scrape that off gently with a trowel using our gloved hands, and then we'll pressure wash it off and spray it with some spray just to stop some of the grass sticking to the underside of the mower. Scraping and clearing off the grass from underneath the mower. You've got it on its side like this. Make sure you turn it over on a rough area of the garden where there's no grass, because you may have a bit of leakage from the petrol tank, and it'll no doubt kill the grass, which won't come back very easily. And also it may get any petrol or grass, or the grass from the pressure washer will mark your paving, etc, etc. So do it in a rough area of the garden. The underside of this mower is in a bit more of a mess than usual because I've been using it as a mulching mower, which is probably maybe a bit early in the season whilst the grass is so wet. So if you're going to use the mulching wedge, you do probably need to wait until the grass is nice and dry. And certainly if you're going to mulch it, just maybe cut it 3 times or so and just gradually reduce the length of the grass each time, and then hopefully you'll end up with a reasonable job. So just carry on like that until you get it reasonably clear of all the grass, and then we'll have a go with the pressure washer. Be a bit more gentle around the areas where you've got the sort of plastic coverings over the belts and things like that, because you don't want to damage that. It's fairly robust, but just be a bit more gentle around here. Scrape a little bit hard around the metal rim, but got most of it off now, and then we'll pressure wash it. But you can see now, as I don't do it in a very posh area of the garden, or a very tidy area of the garden, or on the lawn, you might get some petrol on the lawn. Also, you may get all this nasty grass, and once we start pressure washing, it'll be quite sludgy and horrible. So anyway, we'll see what happens next. Here we go, I've got the pressure washer on, got my gloves and my boots, and ideally a waterproof trousers possibly, and maybe a good idea to have some eye protection because it does splash back and you do sometimes get blasted with some bits of grit and mud and grass, etc. So here we go. Good idea to take your kneeling pad out of the way as well, otherwise that's going to get soaking wet. So it's coming up quite nicely. Obviously here you may as well do all around the wheels and the power take-up, etc. And the wedge as well, clean that up, and then hopefully it'll mean that when we're doing the mulching, it'll grass will whiz around faster and get chomped up better, and either go down as mulch, or if it goes off into the bag, it'll go slide more efficiently and quickly into the bag. It's now nice and clean, ready for the new season, and I'm just going to get some spray and spray underneath, and it'll stop the mud and grass sticking to the underside of this hood. I'm just going to spray the underside of this with the GT85 with PTFE, lubricate, penetrate and water disperser. So lubricate, penetrate and water disperser. So we'll pop that underneath, spray it liberally on the underside there, and then it'll stop the grass and mud sticking so much. Probably put a bit more spray on than I normally would, but as it's the beginning of the season, and then each time I clean it I'll probably just put a bit more spray on, and it'll keep it nice and clean, and keep the grass moving quickly into the either into the bag or help the mulching process. If you found this at all useful, please do give it the thumbs up, and do subscribe, hopefully, and keep up to date with some more of the odd and unusual videos that I do on all sorts of different things, from garden maintenance to DIY to baking, etc, etc, etc. So now turn the machine back over so it's flat and level on the floor, and carefully reconnect the spark plug lead connection, and then you should be ready to go. If you just let the machine settle for a few minutes, then it'll just let the oil settle back into the sump in the bottom of the mower engine, and then you should be ready to pull start it, and hopefully should pull start reasonably quickly. Might take a few goes, but it should be a lot easier than if you turn the machine up the other way around with the oil filter and sorry, the air filter facing downwards, because if you'd done that then you'd probably have more of a problem starting it. But always keep the air filter uppermost towards the sky and then you should be fine. You think of everything on these mowers these days. You've even got a warning on the mowers, listen. Can you hear it? Sounds very posh, doesn't it? Even posher than me. Took me a few times to get it started today. Maybe I got it a bit too wet with my pressure washer. But anyway, it started and it'll be fine now. Was a bit of black smoke to begin with, so obviously oil got in somewhere where it shouldn't have got. But it soon burnt off the black smoke and away we go. Should be fine now.